Hi gorgeous, it's Ker-leen. Thank you for tuning back into my channel. In today's video, I will be sharing with you some extremely long-lasting fragrances in my Arabian perfume collection. These fragrances could also be considered 10 out of 10 fragrances because not only do they smell incredible, but they perform just beautifully. Some of these are going to last the entire day and some of them are nuclear. They will last into next week on your piece of clothing. So if you're interested to see what these fragrances are, then please keep watching. Hi friend, welcome back to the channel. So before we jump in, I want to thank those of you who clicked on the thumbnail and this is your first time here. On this channel, I talk luxury, I do review videos, I share my fragrance journey, and I also sprinkle in some lifestyle. So if any of those things pique your interest, then I would love to have you here. I think you would love it here. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button and turn on your notification bell so you know exactly when my videos drop. All right, let's get into it. The first fragrance I have here today is Nuit Imperiale by Armaf. This is a fragrance that is 10 out of 10. This is a dupe of Delina Exclusive by Parfums de Marly, and this fragrance not only smells nearly identical, but this fragrance is a beastly performer. It is beast mode, long lasting. It smells so incredible and you cannot go wrong with this fragrance. Not only that, this is a 3.6 fluid ounce bottle, so they give you tons of fragrance, which I don't know how I'm gonna get through this entire bottle because this fragrance takes literally maybe 4 sprays and you're good for the entire day. For me personally, if I do any more than 4 sprays, this will give me a headache. So I typically do about 4 sprays of this and I'm good to go for the entire day. This is nuclear. This will last on your clothing for a very long time. And for the price, y'all, this is an incredible value. So I would highly recommend Club de Nuit Imperiale. As I've mentioned, this is a Delina Exclusive dupe. So you have that really tart, sharp, fruity opening. This one is just a little bit more nuanced to my nose. It's definitely creamier and it's just gorgeous. It's a beautiful fragrance. The next fragrance I have here is Junoon Noir by Haramain. This one is fairly new to my collection, but I've been enjoying it thoroughly. It's so beautiful. It's so whimsical, so ethereal, it's so light, it's delicate yet creamy, it's so sweet and delicious, it's inviting, it's soft, it's sensual. This is such a gorgeous fragrance. As you all know, this is supposed to be a dupe for Dama Bianca by Shaghaf, and you definitely would get great value if you purchase this fragrance. The DNA of Dama Bianca is also quite unique, and so purchasing this fragrance allowed me a chance to become acquainted with Dama Bianca. I then purchased a sample of Dama Bianca. I smelled it at my local Neiman Marcus, and so I have some thoughts on the similarities and differences between the dupe and the OG, which will be coming very soon on the channel, so stay tuned for that. But y'all, this is an amazing dupe. It performs so beautifully. It's so long lasting. It clings to your skin, clings to your clothes. This lasted me an entire day, over 8 hours on my clothing. And this was projecting for a good 6 hours. So I'm happy with this fragrance. I was able to test this out on a day where it was like 96 degrees and very humid. This fragrance passed the test. It lasted until I got back home. My favorite parts about this fragrance are the kumquat, the orris, and the vanilla. I feel like those 3 notes really shine to my nose and really blend to form something so unique. To me, this fragrance is whipped. It's creamy, slightly lactonic with that vanilla and orris, and then there's a hint, just a hint of an orange in the background that isn't too sharp, isn't too tart, isn't too zesty. It's a very mild orange, and it makes for such a unique and intoxicating and inviting concoction, and I love this fragrance. It's so good. A very nice performer. You get bang for your buck with this fragrance, and I would highly recommend it. Another fragrance that I feel you get a great value when you purchase and is also extremely nuclear as far as performance is Afnan's Edict Amber Rhythm. When I first picked up this fragrance, I was astounded by how good this is. It is so good. I've talked a lot about how this fragrance smells, so I will simply list the notes here for you. But just know that this fragrance gives me a very creamy, slightly nutty, very saffron forward vibe, and it smells expensive. It smells very luxurious, and to me this fragrance feels like I'm going to a very special occasion and I have on a very expensive look. That's what this feels like. So when I want to just feel luxurious, I want a little bit of luxury for the day, this is something that I will reach for and spritz on. It is absolutely beautiful. The more mature this fragrance has gotten, the more heavy that saffron note is. So just be mindful of that if you're not into saffron. It does become more saffron dominant the older this fragrance gets, but it is so beautiful, y'all. So beautiful. Amber Rhythm just feels niche and it feels very expensive. It smells sweet, it smells creamy, it smells very luxurious. It has a little bit of an earthy touch to it with the saffron and some of the other base notes. This is just so gorgeous. Next, we have Shaghaf Oud Tonka by Swiss Arabian. This is also a fragrance I spoke quite a bit about when I first received it, especially in the fall and winter, as it was more appropriate for that season. Now, I would still wear this in the evening, especially like on a date night or something like that, even in the summertime, but I can see this being too cloying and too heavy for this time of year. I did want to shout it out because it is one of these standout fragrances in my Arabian perfume collection that you will get great value from. You get a bang for your buck with this fragrance for sure. This is another one that is a dupe for a niche fragrance. This one is a dupe for BDK's Velvet Tonka. Velvet Tonka is a fragrance I've yet to experience, so I can't quite speak to how similar this is to the OG, but I do know that this has been touted as a dupe for Velvet Tonka. However, on its own, this fragrance is very unique and very interesting. The star notes to me in this fragrance are the almond, the cinnamon, the tonka bean, and the vanilla. Those are the notes that I feel really stand out to me. I don't quite pick up florals, although there are florals in here. I mostly pick up those nutty and creamy and dense notes. So to me, this fragrance feels very sweet, slightly warm, spicy, very creamy, a little resinous, and very rich and dense. So this is the perfect fragrance for fall and winter. This is going to last you all day, and then it will still be on your clothes until you wash those clothes. So this one here clings onto your clothing. While it's not the biggest projector, it does give you an intimate bubble of projection for the first, I would say maybe 5 to 6 hours before you can't quite smell it until you put your nose to your clothes. But it will still be on your clothes and people will still smell you even when you can no longer smell the fragrance. I am so happy with the performance. I think it lasts, and especially now that it's warming up, I imagine if you wear this in the evening, this is going to project even better and last you all night long. So yes, this is so beautiful. Something I would do with this fragrance is I would pair it with a fresher fragrance that has a bergamot and a vanilla, something like that, that feels very bright and very fresh, but still has complementary notes. So a very fresh vanilla or a fresh coconut fragrance would probably pair nicely with this one to make it more wearable for the summertime. But this is gorgeous. It's gorgeous and the value is insane. The bottle is just so beautiful. You have that Tiffany blue bottle with the gold cap, and look at the details on the cap and the bottle itself. This is another one that I would highly recommend because it's that good. This next one is one that I rave about all the time on the channel. You're probably sick of me talking about it by now, but it's so good. It's so good. I have to talk about it. It's amazing. And trust and believe on this channel, when I share my fragrance journey, I'm literally sharing what I truly feel about these fragrances. These are fragrances that I'm using in my everyday life. And so when I rave about them over and over, it's because I truly do love them. And this one is one that has stolen my heart. This is Junoon Rose by Haramain. This is a dupe for Amouage's Blossom Love. I've done a video where I shared my thoughts and my opinions on how they compare. And so I will link that so you can go back and watch it. But y'all, in my opinion, this is stunning. It's very close to the original, and now that I've had experience with this fragrance, I would say this fragrance is better performing than the original. I had a sample of the original. I used my sample the way I would normally use my fragrances, and I put it on my skin. I've also sprayed Blossom Love on my skin almost every time I'm at Neiman Marcus because it's quite beautiful. And y'all, I would say that this fragrance performs so much better. Not only does this project more loudly, but it lasts the entire day. This will still be on your clothing at the end of an 8+ hour day. And that's what I love about this fragrance. It keeps you feeling and smelling very powdery fresh the entire day. Not only is it powdery fresh, but it has a gorgeous cherry blossom and an ylang note. It has heliotrope, so there is this floral element. It's very soft, and it also has a bit of interest with that amaretto note. This is so beautiful. It's gorgeous, and it's a very close dupe to the OG. As far as I know, this is going to get you extremely close to Blossom Love. If you currently own Blossom Love and you want to savor it a little bit, or if it's just too pricey for you and you don't want to spend that much, this will get you close. This is one that I would highly recommend. I love it. I use it all the time, and I find the performance to be amazing. As I mentioned, Junoon Rose is powdery and fresh. It has a beautiful rose and a cherry blossom. It has ylang. It has a gorgeous and very nutty tonka bean. It has that amaretto, which at the mid of this fragrance makes this fragrance feel very silky, and then it starts to get powdery. And then I get a little bit of a creamy nuance as this fragrance starts to dry down, but this fragrance remains powdery fresh throughout the wear. So it makes it perfect for the summertime. It's super duper long lasting. It works very well in the hot, humid weather here in my city, and I would highly recommend this one. So if you enjoy a good powdery fragrance, I think this is a beautiful one. If you don't like powdery scents, you may want to stay away from this because it does get quite powdery, but it's not like a dated powder. It's a very fresh, feminine, and modern powdery scent. Also, the rose note in here is not overpowering. It just adds a little bit more femininity to the fragrance. It's a pink rose, not a red rose. So this is just gorgeous, and I cannot get enough. This is Junoon Rose by Haramain. This last one is new to my collection, so I won't speak too much about it, but as far as I can tell so far, this is an amazing performer, and it's going to perform even better by the fall and winter. This is going to be beast mode by fall and winter. And that is the newest Eclaire by Lattafa. I got my hands on Eclaire not too long ago, so it is fairly new, so I won't harp on it for too long, but this is supposed to be a dupe of Bianco Latte by Giardini di Toscana. The girlies are loving this one much more than Paris Corner's Caramel Cascade, which came out a few months ago, and I can see why. This one is definitely almost identical in my opinion to Bianco Latte. When I first talked about this fragrance, it did seem to be a little bit lighter of a performer than the OG, but since then this has gotten stronger, and this is extremely long lasting. Projection wise, this doesn't project very loudly yet, but it is so long lasting. This is one that's going to take you from the morning all the way until the evening when you get back home, and it's still going to be on your clothes until you wash them. So I'm really pleased with the performance of this one so far, and I can't wait to see what this develops into, what the performance is like in the fall and winter. I'm sure it's going to be amazing. So I just wanted to throw this one in as sort of an honorable mention because I have not experienced this one too much yet. I will be back to share more of my thoughts, but so far I'm loving this one. I think that if you were looking for a Bianco Latte dupe, something a little bit more affordable, even though Bianco Latte, relatively speaking, is not as expensive as some of your other niche fragrances. If you were looking to save a little bit of your coins and you wanted a dupe and you have not picked one up yet, I would recommend grabbing this one instead of Caramel Cascade, which is another dupe for Bianco Latte. There are also other dupes that are non-Arabian as well. For the amount of fragrances the Arabian fragrance houses give us in their bottles, and for how similar this one is to Bianco Latte, I would say grab this one if you've not yet purchased a dupe and you're still on the hunt. So yes, this is one that I'm very happy with. I'm really pleased with my purchase, and I cannot wait to see how amazing this is going to be in the fall and winter. So this one is Eclaire by Lattafa. If you are still here, thank you so much for watching up to this point. I am so grateful for you, and if you enjoy fragrance content, I make quite a bit of fragrance content on this channel, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button and turn on your notifications so you never miss another video. Before you click off of the video today, I just want you to know how amazing you are. You're a work of art, and God made no mistakes on you. I hope that you can see that today. I hope that you can believe it, and just keep letting your beautiful light shine. Keep being yourself, because there is no one quite like you. I will be over here doing the exact same thing. Thank you so much for watching this video. I will see you in the next one very soon. Bye.